That's why many non-Indigenous people, including myself, use the term settler, uninvited guest, or for white folks who self-describe as colonizer.
When I stumbled upon that video of BC MLA Rohini Arora unloading such nonsense, I almost lost my shit.
A few weeks ago, in estimates, I heard the member for Columbia River Revelstoke express discomfort with the terms settler, uninvited guest, and colonizer. That prompted me to deeply reflect on where these terms come from and why they matter. Even if we didn't personally cause colonization, we live in a country shaped by it. That's why many non-Indigenous people, including myself, use the term settler, uninvited guest, or for white folks who self-describe as colonizer, especially here in British Columbia. Unceded means unsurrendered. I am a settler. I was born here, but my family came from India through Canada's colonial immigration system, a country and system built on the displacement of Indigenous peoples. That truth doesn't exclude anyone. It includes all of us in a shared responsibility. True reconciliation means recognizing that Canada was built on the lands and suffering of Indigenous peoples. It's not about blame, it's about a shared responsibility. It's not about division, it's about building honest, respectful relationships so that we can chart a new path forward together. And one that centers First Nations, Métis, and Indigenous people. When we self-refer as settlers, it's a signal to Indigenous people that we understand the history of colonization. And I urge all members here to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Seriously, how can someone spout this garbage and expect people to listen? Honestly, it was like watching a train wreck a bazaar, chaotic and absolutely infuriating. I couldn't believe my eyes. How can someone be so out of touch and still think they're making sense? It's maddening. It was a classic case of someone talking just to hear themselves speak, and let me tell you, it pissed me off. Here's an immigrant from India giving a good scolding to the dead European settlers who came here in the 1700s. The nerve. It's hilarious how she thinks it's fine for her family to enjoy everything about white people's culture, while pointing fingers at those who came before her. The hypocrisy is infuriating. If you think about it, even the Indigenous people didn't just pop up here. They migrated from somewhere else too. Why does nobody get this? Everyone has a history of moving around, so why pretend that one group is better or more deserving than another? It's ridiculous. It's time to face the truth. We are all products of migration, no matter where we came from. Stop acting superior. It's like when the RCMP holds a press conference about 2 missing kids from Nova Scotia and starts with some land acknowledgement.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Corporal Carly McCann, Provincial Public Information Officer for the Nova Scotia RCMP. Thank you all for being here today. Bonjour, je suis la caporale Carly McCann, agent d'information publique pour la GRC en Nouvelle-Écosse. Merci de votre présence aujourd'hui. First, I acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional and unceded ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I also recognize that African Nova Scotians are a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched that part of Mi'kma'ki known as Nova Scotia for over 400 years.
Are you kidding me? Seriously? The focus should be on those 2 missing children, not on a bunch of formalities that nobody cares about. This is infuriating. People are outraged, and how hard is it to just read the damn room? It's not rocket science. It's unbelievable that in a time of crisis they waste time on stuff that doesn't matter when kids are missing. What the hell is wrong with them? Here's an alternate take. The Indigenous people are living on white people's land. Land that was conquered and ceded. Deal with it. They are spending white people's money, wearing white people's clothing, speaking white people's language. The hypocrisy is insane. They are appropriating white people's culture. But oh no, you can't say that, it's racist. Give me a break. It's not actually a good thing to say, but it's the point I'm trying to make here. Everyone in Canada right now needs to be treated equally. Enough with the double standards. There is no longer any of this who was here first bullshit. Stop it already. Don't even get me started on how we shouldn't forget to mention the part where we built the modern world. Show some respect. And then allowed third world immigrants to use Western exceptionalism to escape the hellholes they built. It's infuriating. I'm sure by this point you're either triggered, cringing, or shouting exactly. And honestly, I don't care. But stick with me here. I think it's important for Canadians to hear what I'm actually saying. Listen up, and should watch till the end of the video and then make their own opinion in the comments below. Don't jump to conclusions. But hey, before we dive deeper, let me quickly shout out about my channel. If you're enjoying what you see, smash that like button. Do it now. It really helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome stuff coming your way. Don't make me repeat myself. Alright, now that we've got that little plug out of the way, let's get back to the nitty-gritty. Enough distractions, and don't bother commenting till you've watched the entire video, because it will be obvious if you haven't and it will be ignored. I'm not kidding. Don't you find it funny how people decide who belongs and who doesn't, who's a real Canadian and who's just an uninvited guest? It's infuriating. Imagine BC MLA Rohini Arora saying that white people, even those whose families have lived in Canada for 20 generations, are uninvited guests who don't really belong here. The audacity. But if you turned around and told immigrants in Brampton, Ontario to go back home, you'd be called a hateful bigot in a heartbeat. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. Even though some of those immigrants might have only been in Canada for a few years or even a few hours. It's ridiculous. We're told that immigrants are just as Canadian as anyone else the moment they arrive. They step off the plane and boom, suddenly they're Canadian. How does that make sense? They're as Canadian as someone whose family has been here for 400 years. Give me a break. But white Canadians? After 400 years, they're still uninvited guests who don't belong, according to some. It's infuriating. They're told to shut up and deal with it. Enough already. It seems like no matter where they are, white people are always labeled as outsiders who don't have a real claim to the land they're on. It's outrageous. According to some folks, white people are the only group in the world who can never truly call any place home. That's insane. They're never native to anywhere. How is that fair? People might say a white person's real home is somewhere in Europe, but that's just another excuse. But if a white person in, say, England said this is a white country, they'd be slammed for it. The double standard is infuriating. In Canada, we're told this land isn't ours, it's stolen. Enough with this narrative. So where's our land? If you ask that question, nobody will say, oh, Europe is for white people. They just dodge the question. They won't say that. So where do we belong? It's maddening. The message seems to be that there's no place on earth where white people can say, this is my homeland. A white person isn't native to anywhere. They're not indigenous to any country. Isn't that weird? It makes me angry just thinking about it. How does that even work? Where did white people come from? Did they just pop out of nowhere? It's infuriating how nobody answers this. Did they drop from the sky? The logic is ridiculous. If a white Canadian can trace their family back to the 1600s in this country, does that make them a native Canadian? Why is this so hard to accept? At what point can they say, yeah, I'm from here, this is my home? Why is this even a debate? How many years does their family need to be here? 200 years, 300, 400, is that enough? It's never enough for some people. Or is it 10 generations, 20, 30? When is it okay to say, I'm native to Canada? The goalposts keep moving. And if the answer is never, no matter how long your family's been here, then where's their homeland? It's infuriating. If they go to Europe, can they call themselves native there? Can they say immigrants there are invading or stealing their land? Of course not. The hypocrisy is endless. Nobody on the left has an answer for this. Why? Because they can't admit the truth. Because words like native, colonizer, invader, and indigenous are just used to push a point. It's manipulative and infuriating. They don't really mean anything solid. They're just tools to make people feel a certain way. It's all about control. So at what point does a white person become indigenous? How many generations of people born in Canada does it take to become indigenous? Nobody will answer. I'm not a colonizer. I'm not responsible for what people did hundreds of years ago. Stop blaming me. I was born here, so I am a white indigenous person. I am a white native person. Deal with it. It's time that we think about all Canadians equally. Everyone as equals. Enough with the division. Canada is too diverse for these bullshit divisive titles. Stop it now. In a world where identity is constantly debated and boundaries are blurred, it seems the narrative shifts depending on who's telling the story. It's infuriating. Are we truly to believe that being Canadian is solely determined by ancestry and historical claims, or can we embrace a broader definition? This debate is exhausting. That includes everyone who contributes to this mosaic we call home. Stop excluding people. At the end of the day, isn't it time to rethink these labels and definitions that so often divide us? Enough is enough. When does cultural exchange become cultural theft? And who gets to define the rules of belonging? It's infuriating how arbitrary it all is. I challenge you to reflect on these questions and share your thoughts below. Did this video resonate with you? Speak up. Do you see where I'm coming from? This is important. If you enjoyed this discussion and want to keep exploring these complex topics, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't just sit there. Your support really helps keep the conversation going. Don't let the silence win. Cheers!